Have you ever imagined a place where the wisdom of the ancients converges with the discoveries of the modern world? Welcome to Tibet, a land perched high in the Himalayan mountains, shrouded in mystery and overflowing with profound spiritual energy. Tibet's history is not just a tale of a distant past. It's a living, breathing legacy that continues to inspire and enlighten millions around the globe. This is a land where the echoes of sacred chants resonate through timeless monasteries, and the snow-capped peaks stand as silent witnesses to centuries of resilience and transformation. The story of Tibetan history begins long before the world took notice. It traces back to the early Bon shamanistic traditions, a rich tapestry of rituals and beliefs deeply connected to nature and the cosmos. Over time, this spiritual foundation gave way to the rise of Tibetan Buddhism, a philosophy that transformed the land into one of the greatest centers of wisdom and compassion the world has ever known. Tibetan history is a journey of enduring strength. Despite challenges, invasions, and exile, the spirit of Tibet has never wavered. Its teachings of interconnectedness, mindfulness, and compassion have transcended borders, offering the world a path to inner peace in turbulent times. Today, as we explore the ancient monasteries, hear the tales of the Dalai Lamas, and uncover the wisdom preserved in sacred texts, we come to understand why Tibet is not just a place. It is a state of mind, a call to awaken our higher selves. Its past holds lessons that are just as vital today as they were centuries ago. So, join us on this journey into Tibetan history. Let's uncover its secrets, celebrate its resilience, and embrace the light it continues to shine on humanity. Together, we'll connect with a legacy that reminds us all of the power of faith, wisdom, and the unbreakable human spirit. Before the arrival of Buddhism, Tibet was a land deeply rooted in the Bon tradition, a spiritual practice as ancient and vast as the Himalayan peaks themselves. Bon wasn't just a religion, it was a way of life, a profound connection to the forces of nature and the mysteries of the cosmos. Through rituals, sacred symbols, and an intimate understanding of the environment, the Bon tradition shaped the hearts and minds of the Tibetan people, creating a cultural identity that was as resilient as the mountains they called home. Then, Buddhism arrived, a philosophy carried over the rugged mountain paths from India. At first glance, the two traditions might seem worlds apart, but what unfolded in Tibet was nothing short of extraordinary. Instead of clashing, the ancient Bon practices and the new Buddhist teachings began to intertwine, forming a spiritual tapestry unlike any other in the world. The Tibetan people didn't abandon their roots. They wove them into the Buddhist philosophy of compassion, mindfulness, and interconnectedness. This fusion created something unique, Tibetan Buddhism. It retained Bon's reverence for nature and incorporated its rituals and sacred texts, while also embracing Buddhism's path to enlightenment and liberation from suffering. The result was a harmonious blend that defined Tibetan spirituality, giving it the depth and richness that still captivates the world today. What can we learn from this remarkable fusion of beliefs? Tibetan history teaches us that evolution doesn't have to mean erasure. Cultures can grow and adapt without losing their essence. The integration of Bon and Buddhism is a testament to the power of open-mindedness, resilience, and the ability to find common ground, even in the face of change. As we reflect on this chapter of Tibetan history, we're reminded of the beauty that can emerge when traditions meet, respect one another, and transform. This is more than just a story of the past. It's a lesson for us all in the present. The evolution of Tibetan spirituality inspires us to embrace our roots while staying open to the possibilities of growth and harmony. In the 7th century, a visionary leader emerged in the highlands of Tibet, King Songtsen Gampo. He wasn't just a ruler, he was a unifier, a man who brought together fractured tribes and forged a powerful Tibetan kingdom. Under his reign, a new chapter in Tibetan history began, one that would forever transform its spiritual and cultural identity. King Songtsen Gampo's strategic marriage alliances with Princess Wencheng of China and Princess Brikuti of Nepal introduced more than political ties. They brought Buddhism to Tibet. These two princesses carried sacred texts, images of the Buddha, and the teachings of compassion and enlightenment into the heart of the Tibetan plateau. This marked the dawn of a transformative era, one where the merging of spirituality and politics laid the foundation for Tibetan Buddhism. But such profound change didn't come easily. In those early days, Buddhism faced resistance from deeply entrenched Bon practitioners and local rulers, who saw the new teachings as a threat to their authority and way of life. The Bon tradition had been the spiritual backbone of Tibet for centuries, and the arrival of Buddhism challenged its dominance. Temples were often met with skepticism, and the foreign philosophy struggled to gain widespread acceptance. Despite these challenges, the seeds of Buddhism began to take root, thanks to King Songtsen Gampo's vision. He supported the construction of sacred sites like the Jokhang Temple, which became a beacon for the new faith. Slowly, Buddhist teachings began to blend with local traditions, paving the way for a unique Tibetan interpretation of the Dharma. This period in Tibetan history reminds us that transformation is rarely smooth or immediate. It is through struggle and perseverance that lasting change emerges. The hurdles Buddhism faced in its early days in Tibet highlight the resilience of faith and the power of cultural integration. King Songtsen Gampo's legacy endures as a testament to the enduring spirit of Tibet, a land where spirituality and unity continue to shape its story and inspire the world. The 8th century was a defining moment in Tibetan history, a time when the thirst for knowledge and the spirit of collaboration transcended borders. King Trisong Detsen, a visionary ruler, recognized the transformative power of wisdom and undertook a monumental endeavor to ensure Tibet became a center of spiritual and intellectual growth. Under his reign, the foundations of Tibetan Buddhism were solidified in a way that would echo through the ages. King Trisong Detsen invited some of the greatest minds of India to Tibet, including the revered scholar Santaraksita and the legendary tantric master Padmasambhava. Their mission was profound: to introduce the teachings of the Buddha to Tibet and to make them accessible to the Tibetan people. Working side by side with Tibetan monks and translators, these scholars embarked on an extraordinary project: the translation of thousands of sacred Buddhist texts from Sanskrit into Tibetan. This task was no small feat. It required immense dedication, linguistic mastery, and unwavering focus. The translators didn't merely copy words, they captured the essence of the teachings, ensuring that the wisdom of the Buddha could resonate deeply within the Tibetan cultural context. Their work was transformative, creating a distinct Tibetan Buddhist canon that preserved ancient knowledge and made it an integral part of Tibetan identity. What can we learn from this extraordinary chapter in Tibetan history? First, it reminds us of the power of collaboration. By bringing together scholars from different cultures and fostering mutual respect, King Trisong Detsen created a bridge between worlds. Second, it highlights the importance of preserving knowledge, not just for the present, but for future generations. Their efforts safeguarded teachings that might have been lost to time and made them a living tradition. Finally, this dedication to cultural preservation shows us the transformative power of learning. In a time of rapid change and challenge, Tibet chose to invest in wisdom, compassion, and understanding. Today, as we reflect on their achievements, we are reminded of the enduring value of seeking knowledge and honoring our shared humanity. The legacy of King Trisong Detsen and the Tibetan scholars is a beacon of inspiration. It teaches us that when we come together with purpose and vision, we can create something timeless, something that transcends generations and shapes the soul of a culture. This is the enduring gift of Tibetan history, and it continues to inspire the world to this day. As Buddhism flourished in Tibet, it blossomed into 4 main schools: Nyingma, Kagyu, Sakya, and Gelug. Each school became a vessel for unique interpretations of Buddhist teachings, shaping a rich and diverse spiritual landscape. Despite their differences in practice and philosophy, They were united by a shared goal, the pursuit of enlightenment and liberation from suffering. Together, these schools wove the intricate fabric of Tibetan spirituality, giving it both depth and resilience. The Nyingma school, the oldest of the four, held tightly to the teachings brought by Padmasambhava, blending ancient Bon traditions with Buddhist tantric practices. Its focus on the Dzogchen, or the Great Perfection, emphasized the realization of the mind's pure, natural state. The Kagyu school, known as the oral lineage, placed a deep emphasis on meditation and personal transmission of teachings from master to disciple. It introduced profound practices like Mahamudra, a path to realizing the nature of reality through meditation. The Sakya school balanced scholastic rigor with tantric practices. Renowned for its profound philosophical texts, it became a beacon of intellectual and spiritual insight. Finally, the Gelug school, founded by the great reformer Tsongkhapa, introduced a disciplined approach to both ethics and monastic life. It emphasized reason, debate, and meditation, and its prominence grew under the leadership of the Dalai Lamas, whose lineage became a symbol of compassion and wisdom, not only in Tibet, but around the world. The coexistence of these diverse schools enriched Tibetan spirituality, offering individuals multiple paths to understanding the teachings of the Buddha. This diversity was not a source of division, but a testament to the adaptability and inclusiveness of Tibetan Buddhism. It demonstrated that different approaches could coexist harmoniously, united by the same core principles of compassion and enlightenment. Globally, this multifaceted tradition captured the imagination of spiritual seekers. Each school contributed to the spread of Tibetan Buddhism, from the mystical practices of the Nyingma to the structured discipline of the Gelug. The Dalai Lama lineage, rooted in the Gelug school, played a particularly vital role in bringing Tibetan Buddhism to the world stage, becoming a symbol of peace and resilience. The emergence of these schools is a testament to the dynamic nature of Tibetan history. It reminds us that diversity in thought and practice can be a strength, not a weakness. The schools of Tibetan Buddhism continue to inspire millions, offering profound wisdom and guidance to those seeking meaning in a complex and ever-changing world. Tibetan Buddhism's teachings on interconnectedness and the nature of perception offer insights that seem to align with some of quantum mechanics' most groundbreaking discoveries. For centuries, Buddhist philosophy has taught that reality is shaped by the mind, that our perception is not separate from what we observe, but deeply intertwined with it. This idea, that observation influences reality, resonates profoundly with the principles of quantum mechanics, which reveal that particles behave differently when observed. Could it be that Tibetan wisdom anticipated these modern scientific revelations? Buddhist teachings, particularly those rooted in the Madhyamaka philosophy and the practice of mindfulness, explore the nature of reality as a dynamic, interconnected flow. According to these teachings, nothing exists independently. Everything arises in dependence on causes and conditions. This echoes the quantum view that particles are not fixed entities, but probabilities influenced by observation. Such a connection isn't merely academic. It's an invitation to explore deeper questions about the nature of the mind and the universe. Tibetan Buddhism encourages a journey inward, urging us to examine the relationship between observer and observed. Through practices like meditation, individuals are guided to look beyond the illusions of separation, unveiling the profound truth of interconnectedness. The parallels between Tibetan Buddhism and quantum mechanics inspire a fascinating dialogue between science and spirituality. Both disciplines seek to understand the universe, albeit from different starting points. One uses rigorous external observation, while the other employs introspection and contemplative practices. Together, they point toward a profound truth, that the boundaries between mind and matter, self and other, are far more fluid than we might imagine. This convergence doesn't just enrich our understanding of the cosmos, it invites us to rethink our place within it. Tibetan Buddhism teaches that by recognizing interconnectedness, we cultivate compassion, as we see ourselves as inseparable from others. Similarly, the implications of quantum mechanics challenge us to reconsider the impact of our actions and observations on the world around us. The connection between these ancient teachings and modern science is a reminder that wisdom transcends time. Tibetan history, with its legacy of exploring the nature of existence, continues to inspire us to bridge the gap between what we know and what we have yet to discover. It invites us to approach both the mysteries of the universe and the depths of our own minds with curiosity, humility, and wonder. For centuries, the Dalai Lama has stood as a beacon of compassion, wisdom, and resilience, a figure deeply intertwined with the heart of Tibetan history and spirituality. As both a spiritual teacher and a political leader, the Dalai Lama has guided Tibet through profound moments of peace and turbulence, embodying the strength and spirit of his people. The institution of the Dalai Lama began in the 15th century with the emergence of the Gelug school of Tibetan Buddhism, founded by Tsongkhapa. The title Dalai Lama, meaning Ocean of Wisdom, reflects a lineage believed to be the reincarnations of Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva of compassion. This sacred connection to compassion has made the Dalai Lama a symbol of hope and moral guidance, not only for Tibetans, but for millions around the world. Throughout history, the Dalai Lamas have played dual roles. As spiritual leaders, they nurtured the teachings of Tibetan Buddhism, promoting values of kindness, mindfulness, and interdependence. As political figures, they navigated the complexities of ruling a nation nestled in the Himalayas, often caught between powerful neighbors. Their leadership shaped Tibet as a center of peace, spirituality, and learning. The challenges faced by Tibet intensified in the 20th century, culminating in the 14th Dalai Lama's exile in 1959 after the Chinese occupation. In exile, the Dalai Lama's role evolved in extraordinary ways. No longer a ruler in the traditional sense, he became a global ambassador for peace, tirelessly advocating for non-violence, human rights, and the preservation of Tibetan culture. His leadership has kept the Tibetan cause alive, inspiring hope even in the face of immense challenges. Today, the Dalai Lama remains a unifying figure for Tibetans scattered across the globe. He has redefined leadership, emphasizing dialogue over conflict and compassion over division. Under his guidance, Tibetan identity has not only endured, but flourished as a source of inspiration worldwide. Through initiatives like the preservation of Tibetan language, arts, and traditions, he ensures that the spirit of Tibet lives on. The evolution of the Dalai Lama's leadership offers profound lessons in resilience and adaptability. It reminds us that true leadership isn't just about power, it's about serving others, standing firm in the face of adversity, and never losing sight of the values that define us. For Tibet, the Dalai Lama is more than a leader. He is the living embodiment of their history, their hopes, and their unwavering commitment to compassion and peace. The 20th century was a time of profound hardship for Tibet, as it endured occupation and widespread cultural suppression. Thousands of monasteries, once vibrant centers of spirituality and learning, were destroyed. Monks, nuns, and laypeople faced persecution, and the 14th Dalai Lama, Tibet's spiritual and political leader, was forced into exile in 1959. These were moments of darkness, testing the resilience of an entire nation. Yet, in the face of such immense challenges, Tibet's spirit remained unbroken. The Dalai Lama and tens of thousands of Tibetans carried their culture, faith, and identity into exile, refusing to let the flame of their heritage be extinguished. What followed was nothing short of extraordinary. Tibetan Buddhism and culture began to thrive on a global stage, spreading messages of compassion, mindfulness, and non-violence to a world in need of healing. This remarkable resilience offers profound lessons. Tibetan history teaches us that even when faced with overwhelming adversity, it is possible to preserve and adapt one's heritage. The exile community, under the Dalai Lama's leadership, prioritized education, rebuilt monasteries, and established cultural institutions to pass their traditions to future generations. By sharing their teachings with the world, They turned a moment of loss into a bridge for global understanding and inspiration. One of the most powerful lessons from Tibet's story is the importance of holding on to one's values. In every prayer, every mandala, and every act of kindness, Tibetans have upheld the essence of their culture, a commitment to peace, interdependence, and compassion. This unwavering dedication reminds us that preserving heritage is not just about saving traditions, it's about nurturing the principles that define us. Tibet's journey also highlights the transformative power of resilience and hope. Despite losing their homeland, Tibetans have created a global community bound by their shared history and faith. Tibetan Buddhism, once confined to the Himalayan plateau, now inspires millions around the world, offering a path to inner peace and spiritual awakening. In the end, Tibet's unwavering spirit serves as a beacon for humanity. It shows us that even in the face of loss, we can rise, rebuild, and share our light with the world. The story of Tibetan history is not just a story of survival. It's a testament to the enduring power of culture, faith, and the human spirit. Tibetan Buddhism is home to some of the most profound meditation techniques in the world, practices that have been refined over centuries to cultivate mental clarity, emotional balance, and spiritual insight. These techniques are not just ancient rituals, they are tools that remain deeply relevant, offering a sanctuary of calm in today's fast-paced, chaotic world. At the heart of Tibetan meditation lies mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in the moment. It teaches us to anchor ourselves amidst the noise of daily life, observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment. In a world filled with distractions, mindfulness becomes a powerful antidote to stress, helping us find focus and peace in the here and now. But Tibetan meditation goes even deeper. It incorporates visualization practices, where the mind creates vivid images of deities, mandalas, or light. These visualizations are more than mental exercises. They are pathways to transform the mind. By focusing on symbols of compassion, wisdom, or healing, practitioners cultivate those very qualities within themselves. These techniques remind us that the mind is not just a passive observer, but a dynamic force capable of reshaping our inner world. Another powerful practice is Tonglen, the meditation of giving and receiving. It teaches us to breathe in the suffering of ourselves and others, and breathe out compassion and love. At first, this might sound counterintuitive, but it's a profound exercise in empathy. It opens our hearts, helping us to connect with others and transform pain into an opportunity for kindness. How can these practices help us navigate the stress and complexities of modern life? Tibetan meditation offers more than a temporary escape. It provides a framework for living with intention and resilience. It helps us to quiet the mind, process difficult emotions, and approach life's challenges with clarity and compassion. In doing so, it not only reduces stress, but also strengthens our sense of purpose and interconnectedness. These teachings, rooted in Tibetan history, are a testament to the enduring wisdom of the human spirit. They remind us that true peace comes not from avoiding life's difficulties, but from learning to navigate them with grace and awareness. As Tibetan Buddhism spreads across the world, it offers us a timeless gift, a way to live mindfully, love deeply, and embrace the present moment with an open heart. In an age of complexity, these practices are a compass guiding us back to what truly matters. The principles of reincarnation and karma lie at the heart of Tibetan Buddhism, offering profound insights into the nature of existence and the ethical responsibilities that come with it. These teachings aren't just abstract concepts. They are guides to living a life of purpose, mindfulness, and compassion, deeply rooted in the understanding that all actions have consequences. Reincarnation, the belief in the continuity of consciousness across lifetimes, reminds us that life is part of a vast, interconnected cycle. It challenges us to think beyond the fleeting moments of our current existence and consider the long-term impact of our actions. Karma, the law of cause and effect, reinforces this idea. It teaches that every thought, word, and deed creates ripples that shape not only our present, but also our future. Together, These principles inspire a heightened sense of responsibility for how we treat ourselves, others, and the world around us. How do these ideas resonate in today's world? Surprisingly, they align closely with contemporary views on responsibility and mindfulness. In an era where people are increasingly aware of the interconnectedness of global systems, whether ecological, social, or economic, the teachings of karma and reincarnation feel more relevant than ever. They encourage us to act with integrity, knowing that our choices contribute to the greater whole. Mindfulness, a cornerstone of Tibetan Buddhist practice, bridges these ancient principles with modern life. By cultivating awareness of our actions in the present moment, we become more attuned to their potential impact. This mindfulness fosters a sense of accountability, not out of fear, but from a place of compassion and a desire to create positive change. Karma and reincarnation also offer a perspective of hope and growth. They remind us that no matter our past mistakes, we have the power to shape our destiny through intentional, ethical living. This is deeply empowering, as it places the tools for transformation firmly in our hands. In the context of Tibetan history, these principles have guided generations, shaping a culture that values compassion, generosity, and harmony. Today, they continue to inspire not just Tibetans, but people around the globe to live with greater mindfulness and a deeper appreciation for the interconnectedness of all life. The teachings of reincarnation and karma serve as a timeless reminder. Our actions matter. Whether on a personal, societal, or global level, every choice we make contributes to the tapestry of existence. By embracing these principles, we can navigate the complexities of modern life with wisdom, kindness, and a commitment to leaving the world better than we found it. Tibetan art, philosophy, and spirituality are more than cultural treasures. They are gifts that have transcended borders to touch hearts and minds around the world. Rooted in centuries of wisdom, these elements of Tibetan history offer lessons that resonate deeply in today's divided and fast-paced world. Figures like the Dalai Lama have become global ambassadors of these teachings, inspiring millions with messages of peace, compassion, and understanding. Tibetan art, with its intricate mandalas and vibrant thangka paintings, is more than just visual beauty. Each piece is a meditation in itself, a symbolic map guiding us toward balance and enlightenment. These works remind us of the interconnectedness of all things, teaching us to see beyond surface differences and embrace the unity that binds us. The philosophy of Tibetan Buddhism reinforces these ideas, emphasizing compassion as the foundation for all actions. At its core is the belief that true happiness comes not from individual gain, but from alleviating the suffering of others. This principle is exemplified in the teachings of the Dalai Lama, who has spent decades advocating for non-violence, human rights, and environmental stewardship. His tireless efforts demonstrate that even in the face of adversity, compassion can be a powerful force for change. What can we learn from this rich heritage? Tibetan teachings inspire us to build a more harmonious world by cultivating mindfulness and empathy. They remind us to slow down, to listen deeply, and to act with intention. In a world often driven by division and conflict, these lessons encourage us to seek common ground and to recognize the humanity in every individual. The global influence of Tibetan spirituality also highlights the importance of preserving cultural identity while sharing its wisdom universally. It shows that diversity is not a barrier, but a strength, a way to enrich our collective understanding and foster global unity. As we reflect on Tibetan history and its enduring contributions to the world, we are reminded of our shared responsibility to create harmony. Through art, philosophy, and the living example of figures like the Dalai Lama, Tibet offers us a roadmap to a better future, one built on the timeless values of kindness, patience, and interconnectedness. These lessons are more than ideals. They are calls to action. They challenge us to look inward, to cultivate peace within ourselves, and to extend it outward to others. In doing so, we honor the legacy of Tibetan history and take a step closer to building a world where compassion and harmony thrive. Tibetan history stands as a profound testament to resilience, wisdom, and the unending pursuit of truth. It is a story that bridges the ancient and the modern, weaving together threads of spirituality, science, and the complexities of the human condition. This journey, spanning centuries, offers timeless lessons that resonate deeply with anyone willing to listen. From its earliest days, Tibet's unique blend of Bon traditions and Buddhist teachings demonstrated the power of adaptation without losing one's roots. It reminds us that growth doesn't mean erasure. It means honoring the past while embracing the future. This balance, embodied in Tibetan spirituality, encourages us to stay connected to our essence, even as we navigate the rapid changes of modern life. Tibetan history is also a story of resilience. Despite the loss of monasteries, the occupation of their homeland, and the challenges of exile, Tibetans have preserved their culture, philosophy, and faith. This unyielding spirit teaches us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, we can rise above adversity. It's a reminder that our greatest strength often lies in our ability to endure, rebuild, and share our light with others. Beyond resilience, Tibetan wisdom offers a lens through which we can understand ourselves and the world. Teachings on interconnectedness, mindfulness, and compassion challenge us to look beyond our individual struggles and see ourselves as part of a greater whole. These principles align not only with spiritual truths, but also with modern science, which increasingly reveals the intricate web of connections that bind all life. As we reflect on this journey, the question remains: what lessons from Tibetan history will you carry forward? Will it be the strength to overcome challenges with grace, the dedication to live with compassion and purpose, or perhaps the understanding that wisdom and truth are not fixed, but ever evolving, just as we are? Tibetan history invites us to ask these questions and more. It inspires us to view life not just as a series of moments, but as a continuous path of learning, growth, and connection. By embracing these lessons, we can shape a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. In the end, Tibetan history is not just their story, it's ours too. It's a call to awaken to the values of resilience, wisdom, and interconnectedness that lie within all of us. These truths, if carried forward, have the power to transform not only our own lives but also the world we share.